It's no one should try and tell you that what you enjoy are things that you shouldn't. If you enjoy something, please enjoy it. The only restriction should be, it not hurting other people. Because your right to swing your fist ends where other people's noses begin.
I was looking and thinking and decided that maybe the whole face covered in fine human lineage was a trifle on the inside.
Well, howdy, Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends. And oh boy, I'm hoping that things aren't going to start too early. I don't know if I mentioned yesterday, I know I didn't in my vlogging, they've been coming into our rental home and they've been doing work on the outside. They're not doing anything on the inside, it's all outside. They're doing outside work. That wouldn't be so bad. They've been outside, directly outside my window. And that wouldn't even be so bad, but this one guy keeps talking to me through my open window. And not only that, has knocked in stuff so that it fell in out of the window and almost knocked my PlayStation and Xbox off their table. And then was just poking his head in through the window into the room and just going, "Oh, sorry. Hope I didn't break anything." And, "Oh, what are you doing? You working on music?" It's like, no. I don't want you in my room. I don't want you talking to me. I don't mind talking to people. I don't want to be rude, but good God. So I've got the entirety of the window over there blocked off with cardboard and paper. So you walk by there and no, it's shut off. Maybe if he hadn't knocked the fan in and almost destroyed some of my stuff and knocked things all over onto the floor, that'd be different. Unfortunately, because of things, it is really warm in here and it's going to get warmer until I can turn the fans back on. So joy on that. And of course, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, that would be awesome as well. And of course, if you could take a look at this list. These are my Patreon patrons, beautiful and awesome people that are literally beautiful and awesome. Thank you, each and every one of these people who helps to keep me and my pets alive. The cost of living is far, far outpacing what my tiny, tiny fixed disability income is. And without these people, I would be hosed like a literal Christmas monkey. Hopefully I kept my hands up there for the appropriate amount of time. I honestly couldn't tell you. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I have a PayPal link in the video description, wherever that happens to be for the device you're watching this on. And if you'd like to help me out without sending any money at all, I also have an Amazon wish list link with stuff like cat food on it. And I am almost out of money for the month, and I've got half a month left, and I still gotta buy things like cat food. If you could help, that would be very, very appreciated. Thumbs up for that. Boy, I am burning up in here, so I may be cutting this one short just because I feel so bloody uncomfortable with most of the windows shut and blocked over there. I hate this, especially since it's going to get really loud. I mean, they were doing some stuff that was shaking the entire house super loud yesterday. While I do like some types of change and shaking things up in my life, I am, because of where I am on my particular autism spectrum, I still cling to and need routine and habit for various things, and this sort of change is, I'm not taking it well. Past that, yesterday was just a day. I had some staying awake and sleeping problems until it got loud and the person was outside and doing things and just really interrupting my life. And so it's just been a day. I went walkies and it was a good walkies. And then I came back home and I watched videos and then I went to bed and I slept for as much as I sleep, so that's a good thing. Definitely a thumbs up on that. My kitty cat is very upset right now. Oh boy, with all the loud, very strong noises coming in from outside, just outside the window. Amelia, kitty, soon. it was bad, and she was freaked out very much and hid for hours. And so right now she doesn't want to be in here because of the possibility of loudness. But Melia, so I may be letting her out here just really, really soon. I was hoping to wait until the video was over, but I don't know. She's not happy at the moment. So, just one moment. I'm a slave to my kitty. But that's the way it should be. So that's going to be fun. Make sure I'm halfway centered. And so that's just what has been going on in life. One thing I have started doing is I play the game Arena, the first Elder Scrolls game, and I enjoy that one a bit. It's hard to play unless you grew up with that sort of gaming experience. I grew up when there were no home computers on the consumer market. It wasn't until I was 20 years old that I got my first computer. And so I have been, let's try and remember what the heck I'm talking about. I have been playing these sort of game companies and developers trying to figure things out through the decades. So when I got Arena, yeah, it was weird movement schedule and stuff, but it was just another thing. And so when I jump back to it, takes a moment to get into it, but it makes sense. And in fact, I actually preferred that old Elder Scrolls type of combat where you held down the mouse button and then moved the mouse to swing your sword. Hold down the right mouse button, move your mouse forward, and you're thrusting. To hold down the button, move your sword to the side, and you swing your sword in that direction. Now, of course, you don't. But it's weird, and if you're not used to it, it's very difficult to get back to. Then there's a project called Daggerfall, where they have ported Daggerfall, the second of the Elder Scrolls games, into Unity. And that is bloody amazing. Oh my god, it almost makes it into a modern type game. There are some mods for Daggerfall that, while keeping the look of the old game, have updated it so that they're like 3D models, keeping the look of the old game while being 3D. And it's like, this is really cool stuff. And modern lighting is really awesome. And then there's the OpenMorrowind project, which is they have reverse engineered a new game engine to play all of the assets. And they're working on the scripting because scripting doesn't work. Graphical assets also an issue. But there's this one person showing how to do it. He runs his OpenMorrowind game with 200 mods and has not had a crash or any performance issues. So the OpenMorrowind project is pretty cool. And then, of course, I've been playing Oblivion. Now, Oblivion has its issues, like with the scaling. They scale up the world to on the assumption that your character is max scaling with max equipment. So that if you don't max out your stats and equipment, every character out there is going to be up here, and it'll just get taller as you go. They're going to get tougher and tougher, so I'm running a mod that just gives you +5 to all of your stats if you get a thing. I also had forgotten that mostly the caverns and caves are pointless, and so I've got like 4 episodes of going out and clearing caves when caves don't matter. So I need to kind of ignore those and do plot type stuff instead of just random caves, because they're not fascinating. They're hard to see because they're so dark. You barely get any money, and so it's really largely not worth it just to clear out random caves. Quests and such are fine, and there's people that really think of Oblivion as like the best of the series. Not because it's so well made, but because it's actually kind of goofy. It's before it got into the true modeling of Skyrim, and before they fully left a lot of Morrowind behind. And so it's stuck right in the middle, and because of that, it's just a bizarre game. It doesn't really fit into any of the molds. And I enjoy it. I think it's fun. It's got a lot of flaws. I mean, there are people that have made multi-hour deconstructions just of Oblivion to tell you every single issue with the game, from a lore perspective to a mechanical perspective of it. And I watch those. But even then they're saying, don't not play the game. It's horrific for these reasons, but enjoy what you enjoy. Which I agree with entirely. It's no one should try and tell you that what you enjoy are things that you shouldn't. If you enjoy something, please enjoy it. The only restriction should be, it not hurting other people. Because your right to swing your fist ends where other people's noses begin. So just don't hurt other people and do what makes you happy. Enjoy what you enjoy. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Now, for a few minutes, I'm going to speak about things about the Razor's Edge and the whole inside-outside stuff, because I've been talking around the character of Utokk for the past couple days, because I've been trying to lead up to it. Because if you haven't followed my vlogging and my talking about my whole fictional setting, there's a lot of really weird stuff to it. And so, of course, it'd be hard to understand what's happening. And even if you are following, because it takes me so long to process and percolate stuff, I wouldn't blame you for forgetting. Point being, there's the character Utokk. Utokk is an extremely powerful being. They live in transitional spaces. And so even though the entirety of the Razor's Edge is transitional, what's even more transitional is a crossroads. And the crossroads is that transition between the Razor's Edge and the inside. They have a nice little home squeaked away inside of there. And when they want to get somebody, they can open up the door, and then they'll put one of the exit signs that looks just like one of the other ones for the Crimson Kingdom and the Pale Domain. It'll say south. And it'll be open. Thing is, though, of course, there are webs everywhere that go out to hundreds of layers for hundreds of layers out. And if you get caught in one of these webs, there's certain types of people that only get caught in these webs. They bring you to Utokk's door, but they don't bring you through Utokk's door. For whatever reason, Utokk decided that, they have to step in. Now, yes, you're being given free will to choose whether or not you're going to step through that door into Utokk's realm, but it's not really a choice. You have no idea what is going to happen inside of there. There is no way for you to find out. You have been dragged there by being manipulated. You are not making a proper informed choice. Most people step through that door. Oh, and God help you. Only God can help you if Utokk gets their claws into you. It may feel like decades before you die, but it's only a week. Utokk can build a human being molecule by molecule until they have one. They're not alive, never can or will be, but it is a full human being, and they have a complete understanding through thousands of years of experimentation, finding out what happens when I pluck this or cut this. Oh. So they really know what they're doing. Inside of every intelligent creature, there is quantum knotting around the brain or source of intelligence, and these emit a field. This field also infuses the flesh of intelligent beings. There are creatures that feed entirely on the quantum knotting. If they can't do that, well, because of the infusion of the field into the meat, eating the infused meat is almost as nutritious. Utokk is one of those that can feed entirely on the quantum knotting and then get the rest of it through eating the meat. It takes a long time to die, and you are fully aware and conscious of every agonizing moment and getting to watch it happen until it's all over. only God can help you if Utokk gets their claws into you. Now, when Utokk has contacted the Crimson King and is waiting for them to contact them again, they have built a human body. And they like this human body because inside of every body that they've made, there's like two openings. There's a socket and a slot. And inside the socket, they can sort of poke a little spot of their essence into it, like a tentacle, and then they fill the brain. The Utokk can only get about 1 or 2% of their full personality and being inside of a human brain. But they go from, this is a weird object to, they're experiencing it from the inside, relative to the frame that they inhabit. So it feels pretty bizarre to be in the human body because the Utokk feels everything that human body does, even though it's dead, never lived. This body, a mid-35-year-old human male body, they just wear a pair of jeans and some canvas shoes, and they schlep around in that when they are wearing this body. And they find it enjoyable to do so, especially to poke around these 5 RVs filled with equipment and weaponry to try and figure out. It feels good to do this, and they also discovered just by playing around with various things that even though their lungs don't work, even though the blood is congealed inside of their body to the consistency of gelatin, even though their brain does not do anything because it is dead, there is no chemical or electrical processes happening anywhere in this body. If they inhale things like cannabis smoke, because cannabis is entirely legal, of course, on the razor's edge and on the inside, and in fact they package and sell it just wherever they can because people like that stuff. They've discovered that inhaling it into their dead lungs with no flowing blood and no functioning brain, that does feel good. And so when they're talking to the King in Crimson, they'll just be like, well, that's an issue then, isn't it? I still don't know how this works, but boy, this is some dang stuff. And yeah, that body feels it. There's a reason, I've got that part figured out, but Utokk, of course, is very unpleasant that way. But they have a positive character arc. If you look upon all this, they go from immaturity and fright, running whenever there is a threat, even though they are strong and powerful. They don't feel that way up here. They reach their physical maturity, and after some time their mental maturity starts to fill into that. They develop a backbone. They discover what they enjoy, and they have decided they are not going to be pushed around anymore. And it feels good to develop that spine, to develop that personality, to say, I will not be pushed. This is my home and I am not leaving. And that's a positive character arc. For a creature that is basically declaring, I like to consume human beings. I've been consuming them for a long time and I want to continue consuming human beings. I'm comfortable living here and I like eating the human beings that live here. I'm not going to let anyone push me out of here because I like eating people. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep eating and eating until I've eaten them all, or I die of old age before they're gone. Yeah, Utokk has a positive character arc for Utokk, but Utokk is not a good individual. And so when the military scout team comes across, well, I'll have to save that for tomorrow. It's not pretty though, because only God can help you if Utokk gets their claws into you. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments. It's never many, but hey, anything more than 0 is awesome. This is stretching out longer than I thought it would today. We have wasabi covered nuts, thumbs up and thank you. There is Confused L29. I have no idea what's going on with the Queen of Canada thing. It is crazy. Jesse Koskinen, Dusk is an awesome game. There is Wicked Clown Gaming, thumbs up and thank you. Sebastian Ferris, hey, I put videos on in the background and listen to them as podcasts myself. I turn on YouTube videos and then play games listening to the YouTube video instead of music. I do it all, so no fears. Thumbs up. Ben B, greatly appreciated. There is Jeffrey Strogan, thumbs up and thank you. Lucas, greatly appreciated. There is the Malens, M-A-L-E-N-Z, I sure hope I'm close. Psycho Jazz, thumbs up and thank you. And of course, J-A-Y-Y, greatly appreciated. Thumbs up and thank you. 11 people have left me comments in the past 24 hours, greatly appreciated. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, if only in text, and if only for a short time. It is appreciated to no end. Well, hokey smokes. I'm going to hopefully get some phone calls made today, and if I don't, well, it's not the end of the world, is it? So I'm going to do what I can. Hopefully you can get done what you would like to get done, but don't worry if you can't. Survival is more important. Get that done first. So, with the Cafefe bug a-raging, please take all the smart precautions for your area. Don't go throwing yourself willy-nilly onto the corpse pile for no reason. We're all going to end up on the corpse pile eventually. You don't want to get there early. No benefits to it. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and quite frankly, I still do think that is a very good thing.